Hello and welcome to our final summer session. I do hope that you have had a very enjoyable summer and had time to relax and enjoy yourself with friends. And so as ever, you will need hopefully your prayer journal that you had, that you made, maybe to answer some of the questions that will be put later, and your prayer beads, whatever they look like. These are mine. And Reverend Helen is going to tell us the story of an important meal.
So our story today is called An Important Meal. Jesus and his 12 friends sat down to eat. There was lamb and bread and wine, a nice meal. But Jesus was sad. "What's the matter, Jesus?" asked one of his friends. "I have to go away tomorrow," Jesus sighs, "and I will miss you very much." Jesus' friends were surprised. "Where are you going?" they asked. "I'm going to be with my Father in heaven," he whispered. "I'm going to die." Now Jesus' friends, they were sad too. "There are people here in Jerusalem who do not like me," Jesus explained. "They do not agree with what I teach. They do not believe I come from God. And tomorrow they will arrest me and hurt me and nail me to a cross and kill me." "No," said Jesus' friends, "they will not do that. We will not let them." Jesus looked at them sadly. "One of you has already taken money from them and agreed to help them catch me." Jesus' friends stared at one another. "Well, it's not me," said one. "It's not me," said another. But one of them, a man named Judas, just looked at Jesus and stood up and walked out of the room. "Let him go," Jesus told the others. "We have something more important to do." And with that, Jesus took a chunk of bread and said a thank you prayer. "I will never forget you," he said to his friends, "and I don't want you to forget me either." Then he broke the bread in half and he passed it around. "This is my body," he said. "I give it up for you. Take it and eat it and remember me." Then he took the cup of wine and said a thank you prayer for that as well. "This is my blood," he said. "God will use it to wash away all the bad things anyone has ever done. Take it and drink it and remember me." Then Jesus and his friends sang a goodbye song and walked out together into the night.
And so there's the story of the important meal where Jesus spends time with his friends. And I wonder whether you can think of a time over the past summer, or maybe at another time when you have had an important meal with some family and friends. Maybe you'd like to think about that and maybe write their names in your prayer journal so that you can pray for them, especially if you haven't seen them for a while. I think as we hear that story, we never quite realise how something that we do may be the last time we do it. I don't know whether Jesus and his friends realised that that would be the last meal that they would all share together. And I wonder if you can remember an event, something that happened that you didn't realise you would be doing for the last time. Maybe it was the last day you were at school, at your old school, and maybe you are now going to somewhere new. And you never realised that that was the last time you would do those things. So maybe you'd just like to think about that, and again write down. It might call to mind some people that you'd like to pray for. I know I love sharing family meals, and I very much missed that during the beginning of the pandemic when we couldn't gather together. And so maybe you'd like to think about those people that you haven't seen for a long time and pray for them when we come to our time of prayer.
So we come to our time of prayer, and I've got my prayer beads with me. Do you remember the ones that we made the first week and we're using each week? So I'm going to use these to help me with some prayers, and these will help me remember all the different things that I need to pray for. It is important, as our stories keep reminding us, to be quiet sometimes and just sit in God's presence. And maybe we want to call it prayer, or we might just want to call it reflection. It's completely up to you. So I'm going to call it prayer, and I'm going to say, let us pray. So I'm going to pray for my family, for my 2 daughters, for my mum, for my sister and my niece and my nephew. I'm also going to pray for all my friends in Bristol, my friends in Swindon, my friends in Cornwall, and my friends in the rest of the country. I'm then going to pray for the 4 churches that I look after, for St Column Church, St Morgan Church, St Evil Church and St Irvine Church. You might live near one of those churches, and you might want to pray for the people who go to those churches and all the people that live in those parishes. That's the people that live around the churches. And I have my world bead, my big bead here, and I'm going to pray especially today for people that look after our countries, for our governments. I'm also going to pray for all our farmers. We'll be harvesting all our food soon. We'll see in the fields around us. And here I'm going to pray for some local things. I'd like to pray for all our schools, for all the teachers that are on holiday and having a break at the moment. I'd like to pray for all those who look after us, ambulance workers and fire people, for coast guards, for nurses and doctors. And here I'd like to pray for all our shopkeepers, those who keep us safe and fed, allow us to buy the things that we need to buy. And here I'm going to pray for all those people that are on holiday at the moment. They too, and us, may be safe. And then finally at the end I've got my prayer beads here for those people who aren't very well at the moment. So I'm just going to quietly, because sometimes we don't need to say words because God knows the names of the people that are in our hearts. So I'm just going to pray in silence as I move these beads along slowly. There, those are my prayers that I've said today. I might just want to hold the beads in my hand, pass them through my fingers one by one and say the prayers without actually using words. It's completely up to you. But let's finish with a nice big Amen.